My name is Rachel Simmons. I was the person who kept the lights on until I decided to turn them off. For 6 years, I was the backbone of Meridian Tech Solutions. Not the face, not the name on the press release. The backbone. I built their infrastructure from the ground up. Every server, every pipeline, every failover protocol, every backup system nobody ever thanked me for. Until the day one of those backups saved a 7-figure client deal. Marcus sent champagne to the sales team. I got a Slack message with a thumbs up emoji. That moment told me everything I needed to know about how he saw me. But I stayed because I believed in the work, because I thought loyalty meant something. Have you ever built something so solid that people forgot a human built it? That was me at Meridian. They called it the Meridian Cloud. It had a sleek name on their pitch decks. It had a logo. It had its own dedicated slide in the investor presentation. Investors loved that slide. What it didn't have was Meridian's name on the actual hardware. Because that hardware, that was mine. 4 server racks, sitting in their data room, on loan, from me. No lease, no signed agreement, just trust. I let them use it for free because I believed in what we were building. I was a co-founder in everything but the paperwork. And that was my first mistake, not my last lesson. My stock options were set to vest on a Friday. $600,000 total. $300,000 to me. $300,000 to my colleague Dana Torres. We'd both been there from almost the beginning. We'd both carried more than our job titles ever reflected. Thursday morning, HR called us both in. Separate meetings. Same script. We're restructuring the technical division. Your role is being eliminated. Today is your last day. Listen closely. They didn't stumble over it. They didn't look away. CEO Marcus Hale sat at the head of that table like he'd rehearsed every single, like it was a budget line he'd been looking forward to crossing out for months. 2 days. That's how close I was. 2 days stood between me and everything I had spent 6 years earning. Have you ever watched someone smile while they took what was yours? Not with force. With a calendar. Marcus shook my hand on the way out. He said, "Rachel, you've been instrumental." Past tense. Instrumental. I smiled back. I thanked him. I picked up my badge and set it on the table. And I walked out of that building. But I didn't walk away. I'm going to tell you something about the way I'm built. I don't react. I document. The moment I sat in that HR chair, I wasn't grieving. I was cataloging. I'd been careful for years. Every email where I'd flagged that the hardware was personal property. Every ticket where I'd listed the serial numbers. Every lease agreement I'd drafted and sent over that they never signed. Because Marcus never wanted to formalize anything that cost him money. He'd wave his hand and say we'd sort it out later. Later never came. And I never pushed it. Because I trusted him. I built that trust the same way I built the infrastructure. Carefully, consistently, 4 years. That trust was now a paper trail 6 years long. My attorney, Vivian Cross, reviewed everything within 48 hours. Her exact words, "Rachel, this is clean. This is remarkably clean." Vivian had handled corporate disputes for 20 years. She didn't say remarkably lightly. I also called Dana that same evening. She'd already lawyered up. She had her own records, her own emails, her own documentation of the termination timing relative to the vest date. Dana was quiet on the phone for a long moment. Then she said, "Tell me what you need from me. Have you ever had a moment where every careful, boring admin decision you made for years suddenly became the most powerful thing you'd ever done?" That's what being careful looks like. That's what patience looks like. I didn't need anger. I had receipts. On the Friday my options should have vested, I did nothing visible. I let them carry on. I let Marcus send his all-hands email. "Meridian is streamlining for scale. Exciting restructuring ahead." Sure, Marcus. I read that email twice. Then I forwarded it to Vivian with one note attached. "The clock is running." Monday morning, my attorney sent a single document to Meridian's legal team. A notice of removal of personal property. 14 pages. Serial numbers. Purchase receipts in my name. Photographs with timestamps. 6 years of internal emails establishing sole ownership. The document stated that as of midnight Tuesday, I would be retrieving my equipment. All of it. 4 racks. 32 servers. The entire Meridian Cloud. I gave them 48 hours as a professional courtesy. That was considerably more grace than they gave me. They didn't call to negotiate. Marcus had his attorney send back exactly one line. This claim is without merit. Without merit. Have you ever watched someone misread the room that completely? I almost felt something. Almost. Tuesday night, midnight exactly. I drove to that building with a moving truck. My name was still listed in the access logs as an authorized vendor. Nobody had thought to remove it. 2 technicians I'd contracted met me there. We disconnected every single unit, neatly, professionally, every cable labeled and coiled, every component cataloged before it left the building. No drama, no raised voices, just clean, efficient work. We were finished by 3 a.m. I stood in that empty data room for one moment. 4 blank spaces on the floor where the racks used to stand. Then I walked out without looking back. I sent Marcus one text before I pulled out of the parking lot. Your data is safe. My equipment is home. Have your legal team call Vivian? Then I went home and went to sleep. Wednesday morning, Meridian Tech Solutions went dark. Their website, their client portals, their internal communication systems, their project management tools, all of it gone. Their 2 largest enterprise clients, Callaway Financial and North Peak Logistics, couldn't access a single file. Contracts they needed to execute that morning. Payroll systems they needed to process that week. Dark. By 9 a.m. Marcus was calling Vivian directly. By 10 a.m. his attorney was requesting a temporary access arrangement. By noon, Marcus himself called my personal cell. He didn't raise his voice. He was very, very quiet. Rachel, what do you need? Have you ever waited 6 years to hear someone like that go quiet? It's a very specific kind of peace. I didn't answer that call personally. Vivian did. That was the point. Vivian handled every detail from that moment forward. The consulting agreement was clean, legal, and fair to me. A full data migration to their new infrastructure. My terms, my timeline, my rate. We also resolved the wrongful termination claim for both me and Dana separately. I won't give you the final number. I'll just say it was significantly more than $300,000 combined. Marcus signed everything within 72 hours. He didn't negotiate a single line. He didn't have a choice. You can't pitch investors on a cloud you don't own. And you can't explain to a board why your entire operation disappeared overnight. I'm not at Meridian anymore. Obviously, I run my own consulting firm now. Simmons Infrastructure Group. 3 full-time senior engineers. A genuine client list built on referrals. Real contracts. Real equity. My name is on every piece of paperwork. All of it. Dana runs our client success division. Callaway Financial reached out 6 months after the dust settled. They hired us directly for their infrastructure rebuild. Said they'd always trusted my work more than the company that had been selling it to them. That meant more than any check. Some validations don't have a dollar sign. Meridian Tech Solutions was acquired 19 months later, at a significant fraction of what analysts had once projected. Because Marcus spent the following year in full crisis mode. Rebuilding infrastructure from nothing. Rebuilding clients' trust one painful conversation at a time. Answering very uncomfortable questions from investors, who noticed the numbers no longer added up. Boards always notice. Have you ever watched someone's arrogance become their own invoice? That's exactly what this was. I didn't kick the door down. I just stopped propping it open. Here's what I want you to take from this. Document everything. Own what you build. Not emotionally, legally. Get the paperwork signed. Send the email. Establish the record before you ever need it. Because one day, someone is going to decide your value ends the moment they don't need you. And when that day comes, you want the paper to speak for you. Calm, clear, irrefutable. Your work is yours. Your ideas are yours. Your leverage is yours. Don't give it away without a contract. And don't let someone smile while they take it. You worked too hard. You built too much. You lasted too long to lose it quietly. The most dangerous person in any room isn't the loudest one. It's the one who has been quietly keeping score. If you've ever had to take your power back, Tell me your story in the comments. I read every single one. Share this with one person who needs to know they don't have to take it. We're just getting started here. Asterisk, they fired me to save $300,000. Asterisk, it cost them the whole company. Asterisk.